Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rahat Kazmi. I'm based in Maidenhead in the UK. Uh, I've been working as corporate trainer for the last 10 years, but as an accountant for the last about 30 years. Work in UK in quite few sectors, namely basically uh, financial services, banking, facilities management, hospitality, consulting, education, and corporate training. I've worked mostly in finance, and I've proved to myself and to industry that my skills are very much transferable. So I've not been doing videos online before. It's just that COVID-19 has made everyone change their lifestyle. So I thought let's do something uh, like everyone else is doing. So basically, it might have some loop some drawbacks in the video. So please ignore that. Just sort of focus on what I can teach you. This course today, which I'm going to talk about, is accounting fundamentals. This course is designed for everyone. To be honest, anyone can take part and anyone can learn from this course. You don't need to have any background in finance from beforehand. I will also go through in simple steps so everyone can follow it. Sometimes you're working in operations or maybe in sales, marketing, or other HR departments, and you are a senior manager and you have no idea how to understand financial figures. So this course will give you an idea how to sort of look at financial figures and how to make sense from them, get some idea what people are talking about instead of it won't go above your head. So please stay focused. It's not a difficult course. I'll make it simple as much as possible, and you'll have my contact details for the video. You can also leave comments for me on the YouTube channel. And if you like the video, I would request you to press the like button and also please subscribe it. I've done lots of corporate training courses in Middle East, in Europe, UK, but this is probably my first or second online course. Okay, so let's start, guys. Name of the course is basically accounting fundamentals. So as I said before, feel free to ask questions. You have my Twitter account there, my Facebook page account there, Instagram. You can find me on a lot of places. Okay, and if you'd like to send me an email if you have any question, there's email there for you, and my phone number is there. You can also contact me on WhatsApp and Viber. WhatsApp, Viber are the best way instead of calling me unless it's very urgent or very important call. Okay, so just to give you an idea of the training I've done, although I trained for the last 10 years in different multinationals, but here's some examples of Middle East. For example, Orpik is based in Oman. They're the biggest oil and gas company. MEPCO is one of the paper companies in Saudi Arabia. Then we got Kuwait's oil company, Qatar Petroleum. Saudi Fund for Development, which is part of USAID. SABIC basically is sister company of Saudi Aramco. So a lot more. Okay, so basically, as I said, I've been going to Middle East and people have been coming here, but since the last few months, my travel has stopped due to flights not in operation, so I didn't go anywhere, and clients didn't come because it was just everyone is afraid of COVID-19. So let's do some training, guys. It might help someone. Okay, in this episode 1, which we can call it, I will try to cover as much as on two topics: what is accounting, working with balance sheet and income statements. Okay, guys, you might have been asked questions about what is accounting. Question arises: what accounting is, why does it exist, how old is accounting, and what can it do for us? When it comes to accounting, what is accounting, guys? Believe me, it is very, very old. Excuse me, guys, let me turn my phone off. I should have put this on silent. Sorry about that. Okay, when we ask about accounting, how old accounting is, guys, so believe me, it's very, very old. Accounting started 7,000 years ago in Mesopotamia. They used clay tokens of different shapes and sizes, and each shape or size represented some kind of inventory. They could be representing, let's say, for example, cows or cattle, or maybe buffaloes or dogs, any other things, or maybe even their weapons or equipment of that kind. That was the first initial stage. Okay, then it improved a little bit. Then we can see, second in the second picture here, you can see, that it sort of changed from just the clay tokens to with bigger stones, and then they start put marking on them, and they're called notations. From notation, they will still use different shapes of tokens with notations. So it's represented different kind of inventory, different kind of stock list. I start comparing this year's stock, this year's sales, or business from last year. Okay, and then they start doing bit of artwork as well on stones, and through making little holes and some kind of signs, they understood what went on this year and last year, and how much stock we have at each category of cattle. Okay. Later on, it improved. Bookkeeping had improved. So a lot of people say, and I agree with them, the bookkeeping could be the earliest form of writing. Okay, because that's where everything's was written down initially, instead of just writing letters. People wrote what they can count. In business, or the livestock and everything else. So basically, in today's day and age, accounting plays a very vital role in our society. In ancient Egypt, an accountant, for example, was known as an eyes and ears of the king. Okay, and guys, it hasn't changed since. In living in UK, for example, in Britain, accountant is known as a select profession. Select profession in a way. If somebody new in the country has applied for, let's say, British citizenship, and they applied for, they're filling the citizenship forms, an accountant, for example, can sign, authorize, or attest or approve their application form, and write the name there, and write accountant, and no one will question it. Teachers even, So basically, it's considered one of the very good professions in the UK. And there's a myth here, they think an accountant has answer for everything. So I think so that's how accountants are well respected here. And if you work as an accountant in the UK, even as part qualified, not everyone is lucky to go to university and finish degree in accounting, then master degree in accounting. A lot of people have to do other apprentice routes. So you can go, for example, AAT routes, level 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Every time you pass level, you upgrade your qualification, your skills. You get a better job, and you get more salary as per their education level. Similarly, when you finish AAT, you can go to ACCA, CIMA, or maybe other education levels of ACA or CA, for example. Okay, so even, for example, when you do ACA or ACCA or CIMA, if you've done 2 parts, you're called part qualified. And part qualified accountants in the UK, they earn between 25 to 45,000 pounds a year easily. And when you're fully qualified, you have good few years experience, you can earn up to 150, 170, 200,000 pounds even, a year. That's kind of salary we get here. So still, in Egypt at that time, they call eyes and ears of the king. Here, you are the ears and eyes of the queen, basically. Okay, or well, I'm sure in any country where you are, it can play the same role. So accountants play an important role in society, as does accounting. Okay, basically, the token system led to writing. Transition from counters to script took place simultaneously in Sumer and Elam. These are 2 cities which are currently based in Iran. Okay, they were Western Iran. So this one basically they took place in 3500 before Christ. Okay, the evolution of writing tablets. So can you imagine, guys? You have tablets these days. You might have Samsung tablet or Apple tablet. At that time as well, 3500 years ago as well, people had some kind of tablets. Of course, they won't use Wi-Fi, but they still have some kind of instrument to write on it. Okay, so they could be maybe same size. Okay, could be a bit heavier than our current tablets. All right. The question which we asked before: what is accounting? Why does it exist? How old is accounting? A few things come in mind. First question that comes in mind is about quantitative numbers. Accounting is all about numbers, guys. It's all about numbers. Second question is about financial money. Money is involved because every time you buy and sell something, you either get money when you sell, or when you buy something, you pay money. Okay, and then accounting is useful. Yes, of course, it's practical, not theoretical. Accounting is all about practice. Decisions making. We are able to make decisions when accounting is done properly. Okay, we can make very well informed decisions. And since accounting is about dealing with past information, not current information, so I think we use the past information, past data to change the future. Okay, so in accounting, there are different types of accounting. Number one is the bookkeeping. Number two is financial accounting. Number three is managerial accounting, and number four is income taxes. So we'll go through them one by one. Some we could not cover today, but maybe in second and third part. So at the moment, I'll just go through a little definition, explain a little bit, but then we'll go into detail in each of every type of accounting. So first of all, let's talk about bookkeeping. Routine of gathering of information, making sure everything gets recorded. So guys, that's a very important thing. So first step is to gather information. If you don't have information, you can't even organize anything. So we need to gather all the information, all the data, and then record it, write everything down. Even when we talk about a little slip of petty cash, when you go to local shop and get a bottle of milk, or get maybe a piece of bread or something, or you take taxi to go to airport for business trip, everything has to be written down. Everything has to be regarded as expenses. So when everything is written down, recorded, that will help us to make information a useful decision later on. Okay, if we don't record everything, we can never keep track of them. That's true, guys. If we don't record it, we'll miss information. We'll forget how much we have paid, how much we had the costs incurred last month, or this month. We can't even compare things if we don't record them. So bookkeeping is about gathering information in an organized or systematic way. Next one is financial accounting. Financial accounting, when we talk about financial accounting is all about information preparation for people outside the company. A lot of people will be confused when you hear about financial accountants, managerial accountants, and management accountants. So you might be thinking, what's the difference? Are financial accounting or management accounting? So guys, today I can clarify this for you. Financial accounting is for outsiders. Why is prepared? Why is this information is prepared for outsiders? This information is prepared for outsiders in a summary, not in detailed information. It's a summary for people outside. These are stakeholders. They could be lending you money. They could be your banks. They could be your suppliers who supply food to you. They could be some future investors, or they could even be some stakeholders in the community area, people living in the area where your business is. So they have interest in your business being there. So they need information to make sure that you're in business. It's okay to do business with you. It's okay to lend you money. It's okay to start a buy from you, and information you provide to them, it will keep them in some sort of loop. That says you as a business will keep trading for a certain time. Okay. Managerial accounting. Managerial accounting is accounting for insiders, people who work inside the company. Okay. So when we talk about managerial accounting, we talk about secretive information, which is shared only for the managers within the company. And when we say secret, sometimes it's even a need to know basis information for people inside the company as well. Not everyone in the company will be able to look at accounting details, managerial accounting details. For example, if you're doing payroll, if you're the payroll officer in a company, you cannot share the rates of pay, rates of salaries with any other colleague. You might be able to share this with your head of department, or maybe head of the company, but not with your colleagues and stuff. They will not be able to find out what everyone is paying. So lots of information, managerial accounting, will not be shared with everyone, but of course with the key managers who are involved in daily decision-making process. So this could help them if they need to expand in other regions. What product is selling more than other? If you have more than one offices, or more than one outlets to sell, then of course with managerial accounting information, you will know exactly which area is more profitable than others, which area is not making more profit. So you can close one outlet if it's not making money, or you can open another one if you think you need to expand more, you need to expand, or you need to increase your market share. Okay. Managerial accounting, this information cannot be shared with outsiders. This is very confidential, guys. This is secret information. Detail, secret. When you think about managerial accounting, think about detail, secret, and sort of information for insiders only. Next one is income taxes. Not everyone has a comfortable relationship with income taxes. Not everyone likes to pay taxes. When you think about income tax or tax inspectors or inland revenue, we just sort of take a deep breath. Oh my God, inland revenue, we have to pay money, we have to pay taxes. So of course, it's a fact. When you have business, you have to pay taxes, and it's a legal compliance, so you have to pay taxes. Income tax accounting likes to ensure that business is complying with the laws. So we need to make sure that whatever we owe money to the government, we are paying it. Okay, that's why we need to prepare income tax accounting to make sure when they come to inspect our books, we can show them this is what we owe to them. Okay. Financial accounting basically is for outsiders. There are three primary financial statements which are well recognized. Okay, and they are for primary financial statements. So first one is the balance sheet. Number two is the income statement, are also known as the profit and loss. And third one is the statement of cash flows. Okay, so we will cover them as we cover them as the time comes, as per the episode. Then managerial accounting management accounting is for insiders. There are four primary tools which are well recognized for managerial accounting. First one is the product costing. Number two is break even. Number three is budgeting. And number four is performance. Okay, let's go and discuss bookkeeping in detail. Okay, all accounting starts with bookkeeping. So bookkeeping, as I said before, it was collecting information. First of all, collecting information, and then recording it, and then organizing it. So first step is to collect information, and then we need to organize it, record it, so we can make decisions from it. Okay. Bookkeeping, at the end of the day, guys, it's the bookkeeping where it all starts. All the game starts with bookkeeping. So we need to get information, collect it, record it, and organize it. And then when it's organized, it can be presented in different reports or different sort of pie charts, etc., and the people can make decisions from it. Okay. All right. Let's take, guys, couple of what-if scenarios. I just want to show you how important accounting is. Okay. So let's take example of all novels disappeared. Let's take, God forbid, that there is a virus from space. It comes to Earth and infects all the novels, fictions written by all the famous authors. The one which I liked most was Stephen King. There are lots of horror movies made based on novels. I'm sure you must have some likes and dislikes as well. There are lots of famous novelists in Indo-Pak, and China, maybe Americas and Europe. Okay, in different languages. So can you imagine this is actually a big, cultural heritage for us to have novels written in different times. So let's imagine this novel destroys every single novel on Earth. No novels left at all. Every single novel we had ever seen is gone, crashed, destroyed. Okay. This is such a tragic loss, tragic cultural loss for all of us. Okay, we can't. Of course, novels will be entertaining source for a lot of people, and a lot of people have spent a lot of time to be creative and write things on it. But if we go to a local bank next day after this disaster, will you be able to take your money from the bank? Will you be able to use your bank card in the ATM machine, or will you also be able to use your card in a shop by touch and pin, or touch and go, or maybe by using a pin? I'm sure the banking card or bank would have no problem with that. So of course, a lot of people will be in culture shock. It's such a big loss for a lot of people. A lot of people will be very sad. But guys, our daily life will keep functioning. We'll keep functioning. We'll keep carrying out our society activities on daily basis. It won't affect that. It won't affect our life. It won't stop the life for us. Okay. Second what if scenario is, let's say all the bookkeeping records disappear. Okay. In this case, let's imagine this novel, this what you call it, the virus only targets the bookkeeping records, all records, including bank statements, bank balances, stock reports, even the records of your airline bookings, etc. Everything gone, destroyed. Okay. Now the question is, can we function as a society? Can you go to a bank with your bank card and say, I'd like to withdraw some money? Can you use your bank and ATM machine? If you are a billionaire, can you go to bank and say, or can you go online and try to transfer $1 billion, €1 billion, or 1 billion pounds to another currency, another bank account? I'm sure you will not be able to do that. I'm sure, no doubt, you might have money in the bank, but then the banks will not be able to find it. There is no record of it. So for them, everyone is penniless at the time. No one have any money. Okay. So if you book flights, let's say you want to go on a nice holiday. September is ending and still sort of warm in many countries. So you like to take a flight and go somewhere, and you turn up at the airport, but you forgot that this virus had destroyed all the booking records. So if you destroy all the booking record, basically that means even the airline record will be disappeared. So you can represent your ticket, say I got a flight there to catch to, let's say, Spain, yeah, or Mallorca. So they might say, I'm sorry, but you can't fly with us. We can't find your booking. Okay. So what will happen? By bookkeeping records being destroyed, our society will come to a gridlock. We cannot function anymore. Everything will stop. So guys, that's the difference between anything else disappearing and bookkeeping disappearing. Okay. So is bookkeeping more important than the novels? Yes, of course it is. Bookkeeping and novels are important for society and have different functions. Both of them have very different functions. Bookkeeping and novels have different functions. Within our society can still continue to work on daily basis, on daily activities carry out, but without bookkeeping, society will come to a full stop, a gridlock. So guys, that's why we can say bookkeeping is an important pillar of a modern society. Okay. Okay, as we discussed before, the first step in accounting or bookkeeping was collecting information. So let's take a few examples of how we collect information. Okay. Okay, it won't be wrong to say bookkeeping is about collecting information, then recording this information. So we discussed before, first step is collect information, then record it, then organize it. This can be done with a certain system in place. This system is called bookkeeping. So we cannot just record information left, right, and center. It has to be done in certain fashion. Then we can recognize it. We can sort of organize ourselves. That's bookkeeping. Once this information is recorded and organized, then it can help us. It can help us to make right decisions, useful decisions, logical decisions. Let's take example, guys, of Walmart. Walmart, if you're not in USA, you might have still heard of Walmart. It's a very big superstore, departmental store in America. It has a lot of stores in other countries too, but America, most of them. So in 2020, these figures are collected here. They are probably collected in April this year. They are saying that approximately 265 million customers visit Walmart stores in the world every week. So all the stores which we have in different countries in the world, 265 million customers visit every week. If Walmart didn't have any proper bookkeeping system, you think will they be able to keep track of what the customer bought, what they have, who they have paid with, what they paid, how much they paid, what they paid with, did they pay with cash, did they pay with credit card, or did they have any gift vouchers and stuff? What were their choices and preferences? What did they buy each time they came to store? Which products are selling more than others? They can only do that if they had a proper bookkeeping system. So Walmart, if they didn't have proper bookkeeping system, they will fail to operate. They will not be able to become so big if they were basically not doing proper bookkeeping system.
Hello, Winter.
And because let's take second example of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, let's say they served 650 billion servings of Coca-Cola drinks, which are served in more than 200 countries every year. So basically, 100 servings of Coca-Cola they serve to every man, woman, and child on earth. Okay, so if Coca-Cola, they were serving every woman, child, and man on earth 100 drinks a year, they better have a very good accounting system or bookkeeping system. Otherwise, they will not be able to keep track on who bought what they bought, how many drinks they bought, what they sold. Because Coca-Cola has also a lot of different type of drinks. They would have, fizzy. They would have Coca-Cola, and they have Coca-Cola maybe Max. They would have Diet Coca-Cola. So this can be all done with a proper bookkeeping system, and this information of 650 billion people servings, this cannot be written down on the back of a tissue paper. Next information is Google. Next example is of Google, guys. So 1 to 2 trillion searches a year. People go on Google. It's such a giant search engine. 1 to 3 trillion searches take place a year, which makes it the biggest search engine on planet on Earth. So have you ever thought, if they how they got paid for it? How they got paid for all these searches? Of course, they will charge people number of clicks. How many clicks have been recorded on each ad? So if Google did not have the right or proper bookkeeping system, they will not be able to keep track on number of clicks, number of views on each ad, because this is how they charge. If they don't know how many clicks, how many views per ad, they can't charge people. So they will collect money on that on their basis. So they must have a very good bookkeeping system, otherwise they will not make money. Okay, now let's take an example of bookkeeping, collecting information for personal budget. If you are a person, you and me, how do we start? How do we use this? How do we collect information for our personal use? So let's focus on personal budget instead of Google, Walmart, or Coca-Cola. After all, we get money, we have income. All of us, income comes through different sources. Sometimes income will come through wages, from business income, etc. And then we spend money every month. We have sometimes fixed expenses, sometimes we have varied expenses. We like to keep a record of where the income, how much income we had each month and how much we spent it. Okay, so for example, which expenses you are able to reduce in order to invest in something more important. So if we don't keep track of where we're spending money, we can't really sort of save money and invest money into something better later on. Okay, so that's why bookkeeping is also important for personal use too, because if you don't keep record of things. Let me give you a simple example. When we go for shopping, if you don't make a shopping list, written down shopping list, if you go to buy a bottle of milk from let's say Sainsbury's or Tesco, you might end up spending 20-25 pounds on different things. If you had made a list from home, you need what you need by checking your kitchen shelves. You will know exactly what you need to buy, what you need to sort of get at home. Similarly, if you write down your personal budget, personal bookkeeping at home, bookkeeping system at home, how much money we had, what we need to spend on, what are the really vital expenses we have to use, What are the things which we can postpone till next month or maybe another time when we have more income? This will Our life will not be so organized. Okay. So what is bookkeeping really, guys? Bookkeeping is defined as preservation of a systematic, quantitative record of a transaction. Okay, uh, and it's important to keep record of each transaction in order to make informed decisions about that transaction. So basically, if we have a transaction is basically when you buy and sell anything. You go and buy a piece of, a small chocolate from a grocery store. That's a transaction. You sold a car to somebody else. You give them receipt, how much cash you took, etc. And then, of course, that is also a transaction. So every time you buy and sell something, there's a transaction. In bookkeeping, transactions are written down. We had to get them recorded. Okay. If they don't get recorded, we cannot make sophisticated decisions. Okay. Based on these transactions which took place. In bookkeeping, past information is recorded. That means bookkeeping information is always historic. Sales for yesterday, for example, sales for last week, sales for last month, sales for last year. If it's for tomorrow, of course, it's a forecast. It's not. It can't be sales. Okay, so basically, bookkeeping is all about historic information. So we compare historic information to make decisions for. We compare historic information and figures, facts and figures, and we make decisions for future. Okay, number 2 was financial accounting in detail. As we said before, financial accounting is reporting the result of a company or business to the stakeholders outside of the company, people who are not in the company, they're based outside. Financial accounting information is summary information and not detailed reporting. So as I said before, we cannot send them pages and pages of information. They usually get 1 or 2, 3 pages of profit and loss, and similarly maybe 1 to 2 pages of balance sheet, and it could be some commentaries after that. So this gives them an idea of how well the company is doing, how well the business is doing. Is business growing? They could compare your balance sheet or your profit and loss from last few years and see, okay, has the company made more profit? Have the expenses gone down? Have the expenses gone up? If the expenses have gone down, they made more profit. That means company is in growth. Company is making good profits. So that basically will help businesses to sort of be more attracted towards you, to invest money in you, give you some credit to buy stuff. Let's take example of basically taking a mortgage. I'm talking about financial statements. Here we can talk about personal financial statement as a person. If you or me we apply for a mortgage, what the first thing bank or building society will do? They will ask us to prove our income to them, how much income we have. Okay, we can prove income in the UK, for example, in few different ways. We can show them the pay slips. We can show them the letter from the employer. We can also show them some our bank statements, how much money is gone actually in the bank. But if they insist, we can also actually most companies will ask for even P60. P60 is actually a certificate of tax we paid, let's say last year. So that gives them an idea of how much income we had. It's not that we're not just faking it, just last 3 months pay slips and then that's it. That's a new job. So they can see stability in income, how much income is coming every month. Bank will also like to know about your obligations, your liabilities, how much money you're owed to your credit card company, for example, any loans you've taken. You've taken a car loan. Do you owe anybody else some money? They like you to record all information, present to them. So how much assets you have? Do you own a car? Do you own a house? Is the house your own? Are you renting it, etc.? So they like to make sure, that anything else you own, any money you have, any savings you have in your account, they like to make sure that it's all recorded. And then they start comparing. So this information becomes our personal financial statement for the banks. Okay. So personal financial statement is a summary of our income and assets and liabilities. Banks like to know how much income we had, how much assets we own, and what our obligations are, liabilities which we owe to people. Okay. So while you present financial statement to the bank, basically, what happens now? Okay, this information is also presented to people outside the house. It's a banks. billing societies, people who want to lend you money. So, basically it works in similar fashion to financial statements or financial accounting, which information is given to people outside the organization. Personal financial statements benefit the lender because they can assess if you are able to pay the rent or not, if you're able to pay the mortgage or not, can you afford to pay the loan back to them if they give you the loan. So they like to see exactly how much loans you have, how much outstanding obligation you have, how much money you have income coming in, and how much money is outgoing. So they like to see exactly what are you left with, what is your net income and net savings every month. Okay, similarly, personal finance statements reduce uncertainty. So it's uncertainty basically is uncertainty which banks will have towards us. Should we lend the money or not? How much risk is involved? Let's say you had in UK we have the credit rating reference agencies. Which I'm sure in UK, USA, and Canada it's the same thing, but maybe in most of European countries may not be still the same thing. In Asian countries, but in Europe or West, most of the time, you have to go through a credit reference agency. These credit reference agencies, for example, companies like Experian, they will collect data based on your personal spendings. If you bought something on loan or on credit from somewhere, this will be recorded with Experian. So every time you pay on time, it's recorded as good marks, good points for you. Every time you default, it's recorded as well as default information. So basically, when companies will lend you money, they will like to check your credit history or credit rating from these kind of credit reference agencies, and then they will get an idea of how good you are. Should they just give you money with open hands, or should they just say buy and walk away from you, because then you might represent more risk. Sometimes you get a mortgage from, let's say, a bank, and then your credit rating is not so good, you're not paying people on time. You might still get a mortgage from some premium lenders. I think these lenders will still lend you money, but their interest rate will go up, so they charge you more money, make more profit from you to reduce the risk basically. Okay, working with balance sheets and income statements. So let's say uh, somebody wants to open an ice cream factory and they need to invest $100 million to run this factory, to operate, to basically make it work. From let's say you bought a piece of land, the building, equipment, the workforce, everything else, infrastructure complete, is going to cost $100 million. Now, if you talk about $100 million, it's a lot of money, guys. It's not a simple figure. It's a lot of money. Most people will not have this money at home. Or even if you go to your family, your neighbors, your friends and family, you can still maybe not borrow this much money from friends and family. They will all either won't have it or they won't give it to you. But how can we get this money? We can get this money from strangers. How? That might sound very surprised or very surprising question. Or how can we get money from strangers if you can't get money from our relatives or family? Strangers, we have to convince them. People who are trying to invest in money in a business, they like to make their income double or triple. They will invest money in your business as long as they can see that they can make profit from it. So we need to convince them. This business idea we had is going to require 100 million pounds. How is this going to be profitable? When will we start making our first profit? How long will it take us to go into break even? Break even, I'll go into detail later on, but break even is when we don't make any loss, we don't make any profit. Okay, so these companies will like to know what we had before, what our own resources are, okay, and what we're going to borrow, and how do you have any experience of running this kind of business before? Okay, all right. Accounting will present reliable financial statements, so we need to present reliable information about our personal expenses, our personal statements, how much money we had, the business plan, etc. So it's all be done in such a way that stranger investor is convinced. Types of financial statements, guys, basically are the balance sheet and income statements. Okay, list of companies, list of a company's resources, which are resources about assets and obligations. Obligations are liabilities, money we owe to suppliers, money we owe even for wages of the staff, we have not paid yet. It could even be, taxation we owe to the government. Okay, assets could be, for example, cash, land, building, vehicles, equipment, fixing fittings, raw materials, stock, etc. They're all assets. Even the cash in the bank is also our asset. And obligations are bank loans, taxes, wages. In short, basically, what balance sheet is what we have and what we owe. That's balance sheet. Okay. Income statement, which is also known as profit and loss, it covers basically how much money or revenue did the business make. Okay, and how much does it cost to run this company. So when you look at profit and loss, we'll go into detail later on, but when you look at profit and loss, it starts with gross income. And income, then we have cost of sales. How much does it cost to prepare the item which we sell? That will give us gross profit. And then we look at everything else, all the expenses which are which occur to run this business. Then we get to net profit. Then we take the income tax out. Okay, then we trading profit, etc. So let's go to that later on. So as said, guys, today we will talk about okay, I think we covered the session 1 today, and in few days time I will load the session 2 as well, episode 2. So any questions, guys, please feel free to leave me a note, either write a comment there or send me any message or email, and I'll be very happy to answer all the questions for you. And my request to guys, if you don't mind, guys, can you please, if you like the video, you thought this was information useful for you, please like my video and also subscribe so you can keep watching my videos in the future as well. Thanks for watching. Take good care and speak to you guys soon. Bye.